If you're looking for revolutionary activity, your founding fathers for sure sat down in this room.
Turns out I am looking for some revolutionary activity, and that room she mentioned is just down the street from me. I've told you guys about Fraunces Tavern and their excellent beer selection, but the real history of the place is the museum upstairs. I've always wondered what the tavern may have looked like 3 or so centuries ago when people came here for the same reason I do, to wind down after work with a beverage.
Okay, so we're here in the long room at the Fraunces Tavern Museum, and I have Mary, who is the Education and Public Programs Coordinator, to tell us a little bit about what this hopping place would have been like back in the day.
So you are standing in an 18th century recreation of a public tavern space. So you've got all your essentials. You've got a table, you've got chairs, you've got playing cards, a little bit of gambling, even a sword.
Yeah, we got all of our glasses for everyone drinking their
tons and tons and tons of drinking.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So we have these pewter cups.
Some are pewter, some are glass. Then you would have your jugs that you would have kind of liquor in. So Samuel Fraunces was such a good tavern keeper that he had every kind of liquor that you could possibly think of in the 18th century imported, and it was great because right outside was our harbor. It was the great dock. So you had ships coming in 24/7, loud noises, people screaming, everything that you could possibly think of coming from all over the world would be coming into this tavern, and he spared no expense.
The water was coming up much closer to
Yeah.
where we are right now than it is today in Manhattan.
Yeah, the skyscrapers definitely came after the landfill. So we are in some of the oldest landfills.
Wait, did she just say landfill? Yep. One of the ways Manhattan was able to expand was by literally building on top of landfill that was poured into the Hudson and East Rivers. It's not quite as gross as the trash in your local dump. This landfill includes things like rubble, construction materials, and in this case, lots and lots of oyster shells.
So 54 Pearl is one of the oldest structures that stands on some of the oldest landfills on Pearl Street, which denotes all of the pearls that used to line the original shoreline, which was somewhere around Pearl Street.
Oh,
so
wow.
Yeah, oysters were very, very big in Samuel Fraunces' tavern.
They paired great with beer back then, and they still do today, which is pretty cool.
Yeah, they were definitely larger back then too. They used to be about the size of your forearm.
Oh my gosh, oysters used to be massive. But time to get to why we're really here today.
We're here at the 50th anniversary of the restoration of this specific room.
Yeah.
But people might recognize this room for a couple different historical reasons.
They're most famous for Washington's farewell on December 4th, 1783. So a week earlier during Evacuation Day, it was the last time the British troops were allowed on Manhattan. So it was the last British occupation. It really marked the true end of the Revolutionary War. There was a big banquet here hosted by Governor George Clinton, and there was about 100 people in attendance, including General Washington. And then a week later, he came back, and it was probably a handful of his closest officers, and he had this very intimate goodbye with them. The Long Room has at least a dozen really important events. If you're looking for revolutionary activity, your founding fathers for sure sat down in this room. Some of the founding fathers do include Alexander Hamilton and Aaron Burr.
Yeah, and they might have even been at a table like this.
They definitely partied in here.
Okay.
If you have ever seen the musical, that tavern scene is actually inspired by Fraunces Tavern. So when they're dancing on the tables and they're doing their fun rapping, it's this table. The two attended a dinner here on July 4th, 1804 for the annual Independence Day dinner for the Society of the Cincinnatus. So it was a week before their duel, so everything was established. They knew that they were going to meet at Weehawken. So they came here. Hamilton was as lively. He was drunk probably, dancing on the table, singing military songs, and Burr was allegedly sitting in the corner sulking and being pissy.
Right.
Yeah.
It's not like they were best friends. They wouldn't have been
No.
splitting one of the pastries that the tavern owner was making or anything like that.
Very good frenemies, yeah.
It could be that they were drinking our fish house punch that we're about to make.
Definitely. This was one of the oldest punch recipes in the 18th century and the colonial times. So likely Samuel Fraunces, having all of these ingredients on hand, would have made something like that, and they would have been used in punch bowls like that.
Cool. So yeah, we'll go make some fish house punch.
Join me in the next video to learn how to make fish house punch to celebrate the 50th anniversary of the reinterpretation of the Long Room at the Fraunces Tavern Museum.